What is it? Path of Exile. Hello and welcome to another episode of What Is It on the Essential Gamer UK with me, Lee, and I'm bringing you a new game which released very recently, as in like 2 days ago, as of the release of this video, called Path of Exile by Grinding Gear Games. I've not heard of them before, I won't lie and say that I have. I haven't even done any research on them because it's literally just come out and I stuck it straight on to see what it's like. And at first impressions I thought, it's a Conan clone, but I was mistaken. What I got was a top-down RPG, which I didn't expect, which is very heavy on the RPG elements of its gameplay style. You start off on an island, you pick up a stick, you go around battering stuff and deaden them, seeing what you can find within their bodies, loot-wise. It's not the most intuitive combat system. You start off with one button, and as you start to unlock skills and bits and bobs, you unlock different abilities for said buttons. You map them to the face buttons, and then with R2 you map another 4. Leveling up is very complicated. It reminded me of Skyrim at first, but then I realised this was like the next level of complication. With many branching arms, you can completely customise your character to a point where your build is a one-off, but it may be a little bit too daunting for more regular players. After levelling and beating your first boss, which is a guy called Hillock, which is basically the end of your tutorial, you enter the common ground, which is Lion-Eye Keep. And here you go to the shops, you can speak to NPCs, see other players, trade with them, but you can't talk to anyone yet, there seems to be no communication. But the voice, the NPCs are voiced, which is quite nice.
A mighty marauder, marooned on a moribund mainland. That's the first line of the poem I'm writing about you, Exile. Easy then. You could gut a bloke with a look like that.
Talamoana.
Some of the dialogue does suffer from overindulgence. You know, when like you play a game and you start listening to the dialogue and you think, this is quite interesting, I'm going to find out a bit of the story, but you quickly realise that you're going to find out the whole story for that particular NPC in one conversation. And I don't like stories delivered in this way when it's all text or all audio, especially when all you can do as a player is stand still and listen to it. I mean, I've been telling you about this, and she's still on the same conversation, which is basically her introduction. It's too long, it's not a way to deliver it. Drip feed us bits in different ways, and then maybe we'll actually pick up the story and care about it, instead of just babbling on. Back out into the game world, and the inventory management is quite sufficient. It reminded me a lot of Resident Evil's inventory management, where you have to put particular items in particular spaces. If you don't put it in the sort of most space effective area, you won't be able to pick up other things. I like this. Also, the weapon upgrades reminded me a lot of the Final Fantasy VII materia system. So you get a certain item, an orb, and you place it in the correct socket on the item that you want to boost, therefore increasing its numbers. Fairly easy to understand at first, but hard to master. Dotted around the game world, as well as enemies, there are other NPCs that will give you other things to do. And one of these quest givers is a spirit who's forgotten his memory, and you have to go into his memory to try and piece together what's happened. And I quite like this, it sort of mixed up the gameplay a bit. It's more of a sort of platforming area, because as the memory degrades, you will fall out of the memory and be thrown back into the game. Also, the map I liked a lot. Its translucence on top of the actual gameplay was nice. But all that aside, the main bread and butter of the game is the beating, fighting, mauling gameplay of taking out everything in front of you. And for me, this wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. I mean, not only did you have to obviously build your skills, I understand that, and build your weapons to do better, but it just doesn't feel very fluid. There's not a natural dodge, so you have to run away a lot of the time, and I mean, it gets to the point where you get so swamped that running away is the only tactic. But I'd like to be able to roll backwards or sidestep, or just a more traditional dodge instead of literally running for your life. Besides that, the game's not too bad. If it's your kind of bag, this sort of top-down RPG, gory, let's go and find the thing to kill and get some cool stuff from it, great. I think you'll enjoy this, especially being free to play. I see no reason for you not to try it. For those that like a more rounded experience, something like I mean, it plays into the Dark Souls sort of get good. Does it? I don't know, but at the same time, it doesn't deliver with the controls for me to be that. It's literally hit, run away, hide, heal, hit, run away, hide, heal. And that's fair enough. It seems like more of an entry level, more than a hardcore game for hardcore gamers, but that's my personal opinion, which you can take if you want, and if you don't. Path of Exile, for free. Play it if you want to.